reunification, it's not only about the child and the family or the parent, the biological family and the child. It's beyond that. There's a lot lesson. Still, we are using those opportunities to create awareness when people are gathering to celebrate the reunion of family and children. We are using those opportunities to create awareness about human trafficking and modern slavery in the local communities.
Hello, my name is Antonia and welcome to episode 5 of Let's Talk About It. For those of you who are just joining us, Let's Talk About It is a mini-series where we chat with different experts here at Hope for Justice about modern slavery and human trafficking. So for now, we're going to bring it over to Derejay, who is our country director of Ethiopia. Derejay, thank you so much for coming on today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about the work that you do for Hope for Justice?
Thank you for having me on this show. I'm Derejay Zalaka, the Country Programs Director for Hope for Justice in Ethiopia. We are doing in Ethiopia with mainly focusing on protecting children and the other vulnerable groups for human trafficking and modern slavery.
Brilliant, brilliant. I mean, that's such fantastic work, and thank you for all the work that you do as well. So can you tell us a little bit more about, what the day-to-day kind of looks like in your role?
In my role, we are managing more than 10 projects in Ethiopia. We do have 6 lighthouses, 4 are for boys and 2 are for girls. And there are community prevention projects in multiple regions in Ethiopia. So my day-to-day activities will be connecting with project managers to make sure that things are going well in the project implementation and making sure that children are protected in the lighthouse programs and provided with the care that's needed for them to rebuild their lives and to restore their lives.
Brilliant. And in terms of the overall context of modern slavery in Ethiopia, what does that look like?
Of course, with the data that shows that there are more than 614,000 people under modern slavery influence in Ethiopia. This one is the registered and the assessed, and the survey showed that. But we are saying that still there are a lot of people which this number is also, we can say, underreported, but children who are facing child marriage, children who are facing sexual exploitation, children who are exposed for exploitative domestic work, children who are being trapped for sexual exploitation. There are a lot of children, and also there are children who have been affected by modern slavery and human trafficking, as Ethiopia is also a hosting and transit and also destination country. So there are the Ethiopian context has been affected by the other countries, the neighboring countries, because some countries are sending children to Ethiopia and Ethiopia is using as a transition, and also sometimes Ethiopia is also being a role as also a hosting country.
And with the significance of modern slavery that you said that's happening in Ethiopia right now, what's the kind of different prevention programs that you would run with Hope for Justice?
With Hope for Justice, we have collected data through day-to-day activities in the Lighthouse program, and we identified what are the causes of the modern slavery and human trafficking in Ethiopia, and who are the population that affected directly with modern slavery and human trafficking in Ethiopia. So we identified that children and women are the one who is most affected by human trafficking and modern slavery. And the cause that we found that the most significant issue as a cause is poverty, economic challenge, the main reason, and parenting style of the family and the children relationship is another factor. And also we found that the other reason is having access for education. So Hope for Justice program in Ethiopia operating in 3 regions as a prevention program, and through this program we are able to support households through economic strengthening program, and currently we are able to support more than 9,000 households through economic strengthening, and through this program we are able to prevent children from trafficking and modern slavery, around 30,000 children through this household economic empowerment program. And it's not only enough to prevent modern slavery, the problem is multidimensional. So what we are doing as a prevention program, we are supporting schools in Ethiopia. We are supporting more than 100 schools to provide awareness about human trafficking, modern slavery, and to capacitate and empower children and students to be very resilient and to stand by their own in front of traffickers and to prevent even their peers. Throughout those, we are supporting 200 school clubs in 100 schools. So those children are gaining education through day-to-day, through mentors and teachers that we provide direct training assistance for them. The other program that we are working as a prevention is empowering community leaders, government officials to be very proactive for human trafficking and modern slavery, and also police officers to identify the spots and to provide support for the victims. That's a very comprehensive,
Yeah, I mean, that's so comprehensive, all the work that you do as well.
It is.
And it's so important to have that prevention aspect as well, not just responding to the issue, but making sure that that issue doesn't exist in the first place, you know. But also in terms of that kind of response that you have, not just the prevention work that you do, can you tell me a little bit about, you know, your work with the lighthouses and what happens when you find children who are affected by modern slavery and that exploitation, and how you look after them then?
Oh yeah, the lighthouse program that we have in Ethiopia, as I told you like earlier, we have 6 lighthouses, 3 found in the capital city and 3 are at the regional cities. And from the 6 lighthouses, 4 are for boys and 2 are for girls lighthouse. So those children have been affected by trafficking, modern slavery, have been rescued by either the police or from government entities or without street outreach workers to be identified on the problems. What we are doing, like from identification to providing a victim center aftercare and also addressing their trauma and rebuilding their life, we are providing a comprehensive care in our shelter. There are trained social workers, counselors, therapists, and also there are health professional practitioners who are providing service for those children. Surprisingly, we are providing service for those children 7 days a week and 24 hours a day. Wow. So we are providing all the necessity service. Mainly, people are focusing on the physiological need of the children. When we are finding like a victim or survivor, like people are saying, okay, it's better to provide clothes, food or something. That's easy to provide, but you will not address their trauma, their psychological need, and the damage that happened in their psychological part. So we are tailored, we do have like tailored program to address those trauma and those psychological need of those children. So we are providing, as I indicated, like a holistic support for children to rebuild their life. And normally the children that we are receiving is preparing for family reunification and reintegration. 98% of children who are receiving service at Hope for Justice in Ethiopia is able to reintegrate with their families. That's a huge number. That's a huge success. Not only about that, the life skill that we are providing is helping them to be like resilient, to build their skills and to have like a coping strategy for the challenge they may face like in the future, so that we are strengthening their capacity and to be very proactive and to build their lives. So those children are being ready for family reunification, and we are helping them to reunify and reintegrate with community and family members.
Wow, that's so brilliant. My goodness, 98% is fantastic.
Exactly.
Of a rate.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about how that family integration works? Like, what does it look like, and what's the kind of timeline from when you rescue a child to then when they are, reunited with their family?
Yeah, normally it's based on the case of the child.
Of course.
We are case driven. So sometimes the child may take like more than 8 months to recover and to rebuild their life from the trauma they passed through. Some children may show up like interested to rebuild their lives and to reintegrate back to their family within like few months. So it's in average like it will take like 3 to 5 months for a child to get reunified back to their families. So throughout those process, what we are doing, like we are working together with the children to rebuild their life. And when they are showing interest to reunify back, because we believe as an organization, the best place for the children is family. Yeah, so we are supporting them. And it's not only leading by this principle, we are also making sure that there is not any safeguarding concern. If the family are the one who is also participating on the crime, so we should to deal with the children to find another alternative care, maybe like a foster care or independently living and having their own life. So we do have like stakeholders to determine the best interest of the child, and also consulting the child to make them to make and to own the decision about their life.
Oh, that's such brilliant work.
Exactly.
My goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you have so many, success stories and so many brilliant things that you've seen, over your time doing this. Do you have any examples of some of your maybe favorite stories that you've encountered along the way?
Exactly. Yeah, I can share you it's been now 8 years. A child who have been affected by human trafficking will receive service at Hub for House in Ethiopia. And as I told you, we were not only addressing the need of the child, the physiological need of the child, but we are supporting the children, to have even a vision, to have a life purpose, to have the life meaning, even so that the child was very being impressed by the work of Hope for Justice, and also being imparted by the workers, the social worker, the project staffs that he received the service. And he reunified back with the family, and he was being able to continue his education, was very successful, graduated. And you don't believe now he is the executive director for an NGO. And he visited our shelter, Lighthouse, and coming to the boys to inspire them, to tell them his story, how he grown up. And that was a massive achievement for the team, to show. We were expecting to replicate our programs through partners and the other NGOs. We found ourselves we are replicating our reputation through the survivor that received service from us. So there are a lot of stories we found that after reunification, children being able to be resilient, and we found those children even be an example to teach the other children on their areas to be very aware about human trafficking at the school, being engaged and being very actively participating. Those are the most significant change that I've observed.
Yeah, and I mean, oh my goodness, it's such a brilliant thing to be able to
Exactly.
educate children so that they themselves know and can spot the signs and can understand,
Definitely.
when this exploitation may be happening, and try and prevent it themselves, and educating
Sure.
families and communities like you said.
Yeah.
Such brilliant work. I guess just the very last question I'll say before I let you go is just, again, if there are any other maybe stories of when families were reunited with each other that maybe sparks your memory of one of those just absolutely beautiful moments.
Yeah, there are stories when we are, before reintegration visit, we are doing a pre-visit. So we are communicating the family members to make them ready to receive their children. One of the mother from our survivor, she thought she may receive the dead body of her daughter, because she already accepted there was not any communication. Her daughter sent to Addis through the auntie, and that she was brought to Addis, the capital of Ethiopia, to receive better education. But unfortunately, that promise ended up on the domestic servitude. So the child faced a lot of exploitation, sexual, physical exploitation, emotional exploitation, and she denied even the right, to a medical right, education and the other right. So after the police rescued, we received the case, and we supported the child to rebuild her life, and she showed interest to reunify back, and the family was ready. But as I told you, we have contacted the family through the government officer, and we make the family reunification ready. But the mother was not expecting that's really she is to meet her daughter after separation of 3 years. Yeah. There is not any phone contact, there is not anything information about that. And I've received that video from our social worker, to see people are gathering and celebrating. The mother was shouting, and she was hugging her daughter. So I was saying okay, for reunification, it's not only a mean that reunifying a child with family, it's not the healing for the child, or it's not a healing for the family only. It's the healing of the community, it's the healing of the neighborhood, it's healing for the people who are I was even wondering to see that the other. I may give you like that video, and you will see like so. That's a great thing to see, and even to think family reunification. It's not only about the child and the family, or the parent, the biological family and the child. It's beyond that. There's a lot less, and still we are using those opportunities to create awareness. When people are gathering to celebrate the reunion of family and children, we are using those opportunities to create awareness about human trafficking and modern slavery in the local communities.
Oh my goodness, imagine getting that phone call as well, that
Exactly.
your child is still alive after all these years,
Yeah.
and she's coming home.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's
That's
unbelievable.
awesome. Yeah.
And thank you so much again to Derje, who is our country director for Ethiopia. And it's always wonderful hearing these fantastic stories and being able to listen and share and learn as well. So if you have any comments, or you want to tell us how these stories made you feel, we would love to hear from you. So next week we have Maggie Cruz, and who's going to be talking a little bit about our Stepping Stones program, which is a fantastic episode. You do not want to miss out. So thank you again. Like, share, comment, and we will see you next time.